up under the flag stand.
So glad I was
So they
there.
were paying for him to quit.
Yeah, pretty much. Saved his day job. I'll tell you what.
let's talk sport mods.
13 cars signed in for the first night.
Okay. I thought there was more than that.
13.
13. Okay.
Only 13 made the trip. I'll tell you what. You want to talk about some door handle, bumper to bumper racing? These guys put on a show.
Okay.
I really hope we can see these guys more often at Willamette Speedway. The racing they did, we had guys from all over: Chris Frisbee, Travis Pruitt, Lauren Cruzy was racing with sport mods, Daniel Ray, Jason Nelson showed up. I mean, you got some who's who of sport mods there.
Well, and we saw, I mean, two of the names you just said, night one and night two, Chris Frisbee, again, no surprise to see the 17 car at the top of the list, or Jay Nelson, the 51N. I mean, it's not a surprise that those guys won.
Absolutely not.
And I want to know, if Chris is listening, and he is, I'm sure he's one of our faithful listeners, what he thought about Willamette, what he learned with the sport mod at that track. Be interesting to see his feedback.
Yeah, I'd like to know how the track actually was, too.
I'll tell you, too, that I overheard Chris saying, you can't drive this track like you drive Cottage Grove. You can't drive this track like you drive Sunset.
Totally different.
Totally different. You know, door handle
all
action.
Aspects.
And Chris Frisbee won night one, of course, on a 23-lap short in Maine from 25.
Okay.
Early in the race, he got collected in a caution. Tore the entire right side off his car.
See, he's had some tough luck there. As fast as he is, again, kind of. I mean, he's got a couple wins.
Exactly.
He's kind of in that Joey Tanner funk that is kind of just like
a lot of people
couldn't. So Chris says it was awesome. That track rocks. You have to know how to drive to race there. Cottage Grove is way more forgiving.
Yes, it
well,
is.
you carry so much more momentum on a big track like Willamette. I mean, you've got to. You got to be on the wheel.
And it doesn't have the wide sweeping corners. It's very paperclip-ish. But Chris got caught up in that caution. Can opener, just car, all down the right side.
Just cosmetic.
Just cosmetic.
Okay.
Nothing in suspension, I believe. He did show up for day two and put on a heck of a show with Nelson in the 51N. Towards lap 23 in the middle of 3 and 4, we had a little bit of an issue, though.
Let's talk about that,
This
because that
is
was more than just a little bit of an issue.
This was a whole lot of bit of an issue. We actually had a red flag come out. Not something we like seeing at Willamette Speedway, but it happens.
Now, you can go on at Doc's Photos. He makes his post every week on Moxie, and you can see the sequence that he captured in this
wow.
wreck. This is nuts.
I mean, you got some hard racing right there between the 43 of Travis Pruitt and the 77, and I'm forgetting the driver's name. Chris, if you can help me out, buddy, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's full-on Willie mode right there, going through the cockpit of the...
The 43 went sideways right in the apex of 3 and 4, and a testament to these cars and the safety of these cars. You can see it on Moxie, the link to Doc's Photos. Just gets broadsided.
Well,
T-bone straight.
absolutely, right in the door. But look at the track. Now, was that track hooked up? Because it looks like a lot of moisture in the clay there.
There was some moisture. There was some slick. It was a mix of everything. That track was not. It was one that it was very patchy. But you can see it for us here in the studio. We've got it up on the big screen. But you can go on Doc's Photos and see this. The cars actually, we had a car go over the other one.
What a sequence of photos. Good job, Doc.
Doc, as that's why I say he's the best around. Look at that.
Check that out.
Incredible.
The best part of this whole situation.
You could almost make a movie out of that.
I wish I could. The best part about this situation, both drivers got out of the car under their own power.
And that's always a great thing to see.
It was. Especially with what happened next.
Let's talk about that.
He'll get to that.
We're right there. When we went to flip the 43 car back over of Travis Pruitt, it kind of had a little bit of a...
Is that you, Joel?
No, that's not me. Had a little bit of a fireball.
Oh, wow.
Happen. And luckily, we're lucky at Willamette Speedway, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on Extreme.
I don't think it's luck, Joel.
We were able to put it out before really it got any worse than it did.
I don't see any damage whatsoever.
Is
that of the fire there?
Now, here's the fun part.
Is that a fire extinguisher blown across there?
Is that water?
No.
Foam.
That's foam off the hose.
Okay.
So, as a standard procedure for us on Extreme, anytime a car is up anywhere other than on its four wheels, lines get charged automatically and are on standby.
Okay.
So we pulled lines on this situation, and we're waiting, as a safety precaution for everybody there. We flipped the car back over, and it
ignited.
There was an ignition that happened in the engine compartment, and we were right on top of it. Doc was actually giving me a bad time because he's sitting there and he goes, "Oh, fire, perfect photo." Wait, what? and this photo that you see is what Doc tried to get of the fire.
Yeah, you were just a
but
little
it's already
faster.
out.
He was a little bit slower than the fire guys.
And Doc's pretty darn fast with that camera.
He is
very
He's
fast.
quick on the draw.
Oh,
but
that's a heck
it's
of a
still
thing.
a cool photo, though.
It is a good photo and a heck of a job by Extreme Fire.
And you,
Undoubtedly. You guys always are on top of it.
So Chris Frisbee chimes in and says the track was smooth and had grip the first night, smooth and super slick the second. Jerry and crew did an amazing job with the track considering the hot weather. Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
a great thing.
You you hear these guys at Willamette, the guys that race there all the time. What do they want? Smooth and slick. Smooth and slick.
Yeah.
As drivers, that's what they want.
We've gotten it figured. Jerry's got it figured out, and Skip doing the track prep. They have got it figured out with the new tools and everything that they've got at their disposal.
Good. I'm looking forward to a nice track this weekend.
Well, and with the weather we've had, I think we'll get a good track
Exactly.
like that.
We should.
That's been the biggest factor all year long.
Exactly. And unfortunately, due to the racing that happened, the hard bumper-to-bumper door
I
handle,
heard
door
it was
handle
pretty
racing,
rough and tumble Saturday night.
It was a caution-filled event with this red and the fire, and us having to put as much water on the track as we did trying to put this out, or foam agent. They called it at that point because at that point we would have had to mud that section in, and it would have taken us way too long and not been a great show for the fans.
What day was this?
This was Saturday.
Okay.
So then the support class came out and took care of business. On Sunday, though, the track was super dry slick. Like
Jared
Chris said.
Simmons is in the 77, by the way.
Jared Simmons. Thank you, Chris. You're a rock star. I don't care what anybody says about you. Especially Corey.
I've never said anything bad about Chris Frisbee. He's an Army veteran, and I am not talking bad about him. I appreciate his service.
He's a doggy.
Yeah. He's I think 21
Salute,
years,
sir.
or quite a long time. But
Nice.
he's only 16 years old. Jared Simmons in that 77.
Hey.
Young guy, but a heck of a ride.
Heck of a ride.
Glad to see he's all right.
Absolutely.
So overall, the weekend at Willamette.
Sport Mods put on a great show.
Okay.
Sport
Good.
Mods did an excellent job seeing them there. I'd like to
Sports
see them
Mods
back.
were the show, weren't they?
Yep.
They were there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And Sunday put on another great show. Unfortunately, we only had, I believe, 7 cars that were able to compete on Sunday.
Didn't I see pictures of Lauren Cruzy's car?
Yeah, Lauren ran.
Lauren was out there.
How did he run?
I'm not 100% sure. We didn't have any of the
Scoring.
system running for this event because Sport Mods were kind of a last-minute deal, so we didn't have the computer and all the telemetry we needed to run the transponders and all the electronics.
I see.
So it was actually Steve Kurtlovich from Pacific Sport Mod Challenge scored everything by hand. So big shout-out to Steve. Thank you for stepping up and doing that.
Steve works hard.
I mean,
with the Pacific Sport Mod Challenge, and
I can only imagine as fast as those cars were going, he
I
was
certainly would not want to be a scorer.
he was probably busier than a ball at an international ping pong
Yes,
contest.
I mean doing it by hand that's old school and that's hard. I mean that is you can't
That
screw
would
up.
probably be just as difficult as being a tech guy. A scorer doesn't have a lot of friends,
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
There's always something to argue about.
And that's right. Even with the new scoring systems and the computers, there's always something.
There's always something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But Sunday was a great show, just like Saturday night. Sport Mod showed up. Nelson
Fans were into it. They loved it, screaming and yelling.
Absolutely.
All right.
We've got some good fans at Willamette Speedway, stuck around through the heat and everything for the 2 days, and cheered on those Sport Mods. They were there, and they got their money's worth out of the Sport Mods. That's for dang sure.
Well, that's what it's all about. I mean, I hope they did. I hope they appreciate the Sport Mods. So, I know that some of the feedback on Facebook about the overall, the other half of that event was disappointing to hear, to say the least. Sounds like that particular company really let down track ownership, fans around the area.
that's what I was getting.
I'm just saying about what we saw on Facebook, the feedback, and that doesn't mean everything. I mean, I'm sure there was fans that loved what they saw, but You know, I mean, we didn't hear anything real positive about that. We did hear good stuff about the sport mods, though.
Absolutely, and I commend Jerry Schramm for bringing in the sport mods for this because they put on a show.
Good.
They did.
Well, and I think that was good. It gives those guys a chance to get on the track before they actually have to show up and race.
Exactly. And this gives them an opportunity to gear up for what's coming up in a couple in a less than a month now.
Great test and tune.
Exactly. You've got the Speed Week coming to Willamette Speedway for 3 days here at the end of the month, at the end of June. We're a couple hours away from there. But give them a chance where they can come out, test and tune, not lose IMCA points, be there.
Repair their cars.
Yeah.
There was definitely...
Simmons has got some work ahead of him.
Yeah.
So does Pruitt.
Hopefully it's all cosmetic.
Frisbee says on day 2, Nelson was very, very good on the slick. Says he didn't have anything for him.
No.
When we were set up for rough and tacky, they missed a setup. You know, that's part of racing, gambling on your setup, trying to figure out what the track's going to do.
And I will admit that with the show that we had going on between the two events, we did push the sport mods through very quickly, so they couldn't change much. But at the same time, they were on their game. They put on a show. They raced their hearts out.
Good.
You okay there, Corey? I mean,
no.
You need like a double shot of espresso
something.
or
a 5-shot. I've had 2 5-shot coffees today, and I did not sleep at all last night.
How about some Ensure, Grandpa? I'm sure Warren can spare one.
He's got a 6-pack in the fridge.
Yeah, but I'm not a grandpa.
What up now?
Yeah, you're just missing
Congratulations,
out. You're
buddy.
just missing out.
No, I am. I totally am.
You saw her. She was here today.
I held her for a while.
Yeah, she's a neat little creature.
She is. A creature?
She's a creature.
I hope Alex isn't listening.
She is.
Alex, I had nothing to do with that.
I want you to go on here and bring up Sunset results because Sunset had a lot of really good racing this weekend, too.
I'm going to try.
Sunset they had some great street stocks down there. Up there. I always say down. Up there.
You're dyslexic.
Something. I'm something. I wouldn't call it dyslexic, but...
All righty.
I'm working on it.
See, I need this kind of technical support when I go, Antioch, Cottage Grove.
Oh, well, would you look at that? My Laps is under construction, under maintenance. So
how about their homepage?
We're working on it, buddy.
Well, you weren't until I said that.
Oh my gosh.
You were just all over it today.
I am.
Who?
Must be that protein drink somebody got me.
That wasn't protein.
All right, here we go.
I saw, and this is the thing. This is what I like about this whole new. I didn't get to go to the races. I made that choice not to go to a racetrack.
See, now
weekend.
Joel was at Willamette. I was at Cottage Grove. You should have went to Banks.
I should have, but I didn't. I took the weekend off. But you know what's cool? You can still sit back at home or wherever you're at work.
You could have watched the Coke 600, buddy.
I don't watch that crap. I watch dirt track racing. I watch footage from Sunset, and I watched Warren stuff from Grove, and
I was too busy to do a live.
I saw a lot of street stock live streams, and the street stock racing at Sunset. I mean, those dudes. And you've heard me talk about it 100 times. I could talk about it all night long. Not the fastest track, but it is such tight quarters and such tight racing. I mean, it is, as a spectator, it is fun to watch. It truly is. With that division, now you get the street, you get the dwarf cars out there, and you get the micros. I mean, and the 4-cylinders. They're railing.
Yeah.
I mean, they truly are.
I got to be honest. I've never been to the Banks racetrack.
Really, you never been to Sunset?
When I lived in Portland, it was all about Portland Speedway.
Right, you were on the
asphalt thing there, and so that was never even considered, And now I wish I would have been there because I would love to go to a race at Banks.
Well, at some point this year we will get there. We've got a couple open dates that we won't be at Willamette.
Yeah,
Maybe we can shoot up there and do something with those guys. And it is a fun track. I mean, it's short, it's little, it's tight, and those guys. I mean, it's racing. It is. I guess from you guys, the people that like the NASCAR world, you almost like a Martinsville. I mean, really.
Yes.
It's just that tight quarter.
Well, I watched quite a few of the posts that come out on Facebook and whatnot, and it's always upbeat about Banks. It's always positive.
It really
feedback.
is. They've got a great program there.
Yeah.
Their program is dialed.